This video is sponsored by Squarespace, a tool that allows you to build a beautiful website quickly and easily. In this video, I'm going to show you 10 pieces of super useful backpacking gear that cost under $20. The first item are these quick draw laces from Decathlon, which I purchased for €5.99 for a single pair. Now check this out. Boom, the shoes are off. Boom, now they're back on, nice and sturdy. It really is as simple as that. I personally think they're super useful for hiking specifically because whenever you stop and take a break, you want to take off your shoes to let your feet dry out to reduce the chances of getting blisters. And having quick draw laces just makes this so much easier. The second item on this list are these spill-proof bottles that are super useful for storing olive oil. I paid €8.95 for both of them on Amazon. If you're wondering why olive oil specifically, well, essentially when you're through hiking, you're burning an extreme amount of calories, and adding olive oil is just a simple and quick way of adding these extra calories to your dinners. I used to carry my olive oil in a half-a-liter water bottle, but I found that solution is not really perfect because regardless of how tight I tightened it, it still managed to leak. So I always kept it in another Ziploc bag. This solution is much cleaner because these bottles, they do not spill, and they're also smaller, which is really great if you're doing shorter hikes. By the way, if you're from North America, you can consider yourself lucky because you can get a lot of these items, including this spill-proof bottle, for much cheaper. I've included links for all of these items down in the video description, both for the EU and the US versions. The next item is a camping fuel adapter, which I bought for €19.99 on Amazon. This thing essentially allows you to transfer gas from one gas canister to another one. There are three main uses for it. When through hiking, you can refill your gas canister from all the leftover half-full gas canisters that people usually leave at the dumpsters of campsites. The second use is that over time, without this thing, you'll gather a lot of half-full gas canisters in your house. But with this thing, you can organize them better and throw out the empty ones. And the third use is that you can buy a cheaper and larger gas canister and then refill it to smaller gas canisters for your hikes. The original one is made by a company called Flip Fuel, so if you want to support them, go ahead and purchase that one instead, but it will be closer to €30. I personally bought the cheaper knockoff version from Amazon, and as far as I can tell, it works just the same. The fourth item is a tick remover tool, which I bought on Amazon for €8.49. Now honestly, I'm no stranger to hiking in tick territory, and for removing ticks, I always used to use the tweezers on my pocket knife. But a lot of you guys said in the comments that using a tick remover tool is safer. And it kind of actually makes sense because if you're removing a tick with the gap in this tick remover tool, you're much less likely to pop off the head of the tick, which means that you're much less likely to get Lyme disease. It honestly weighs nothing. It doesn't take up pretty much any space in my backpack, so this thing is definitely worth it. If you want to find out what gear I use, go to OSCARHIKES.com. I built this website with Squarespace, which is the sponsor of today's video. Squarespace is also under $20. In fact, currently, it costs just €11 per month, depending on where you live. And that includes everything that you need to make and maintain a professional and beautiful website. For example, if you're a photographer or a video editor and you don't really know much about building websites, then I think Squarespace is the perfect option. They have over 170 different website templates that are included in the monthly price for portfolio sites, agencies, blogs, online stores, restaurants, local services, and more. Squarespace is aimed at people who don't really know how to code because you can customize pretty much everything using their customization options and their drag and drop builder. Another big benefit for Squarespace is that you don't need to pay to get started because they offer a 14-day free trial, which allows you to build and design everything and learn how everything works with Squarespace. So if you want to build a website quickly and easily, go to squarespace.com and start designing your website. And when you're finished with designing the website and make it go public, go to squarespace.com/OSCARHIKES to get 10% off your first purchase of a website or a domain. Thank you, Squarespace, for sponsoring this video. The next item item are these glow-in-the-dark zipper pulls. I bought 10 of them on Amazon for 12.09 euros, including the shipping. I essentially swapped out the original zipper pulls for the mesh section of my tent because it makes it a bit easier to find them in the middle of the night. I think it's a pretty small, but in my opinion, quite useful quality of life improvement for anyone who wants to sleep in a tent. Item number 6 in this list is a digital thermometer from Switchbot, which I bought on Amazon for 16.99 euros. The small thermometer that's popular in the US by thru hikers, or the one from Decathlon that comes with a whistle that's more popular here in Europe, are both also good options, but in my opinion, this thing is a bit better. To use it, you simply need to hang it somewhere inside of your tent, and then in the morning open the app on your phone and it will show all the historical data of how the temperature and the air humidity changed within the night. With a regular thermometer, you're just getting readings whenever you look at the thermometer instead of the whole portion of the night. As you can see, this thing is also pretty small. It weighs only 44 grams, but that said, I would only bring it on my winter hikes. Item number 7 is a small piece of Velcro adhesive tape that I bought on Amazon for 6.99 euros. To keep my sleeping pad from sliding into the bottom wall of my tent, I covered the whole bottom part of it with small dots of silicone. I personally think it's a really good solution because it works like a charm and it didn't do anything to my sleeping pad, but some people didn't want to put silicone on their expensive sleeping pads, so I'm offering another solution. All you need to do is put a few pieces of Velcro at the bottom of the tent floor as well as your sleeping pad, and it will work like a charm. You can also use the same Velcro clips to attach your pillow to your sleeping pad, which also works very similarly. But one thing that I do want to emphasize is that although they hold on right now pretty well, I do think they will fall off probably sometime in the future. So I will probably need to buy some fabric glue to attach them a bit more permanently. I also wanted to note that my solution with silicone also isn't 100% perfect because after maybe 4 or 5 months of using it, some of the silicone beads are missing. I would say right now maybe 10 or 20% of the silicone beads are missing, but you can reapply them whenever you need to, so it's not really a big problem. The next item are pack liners, which are really useful for keeping your gear dry inside of the backpack when it starts raining. I paid 24 euros including shipping, but in return I got 4 of them, so one cost 6 euros. Before these, I used to use dry sacks for protecting my gear, which are also really good options and definitely more durable, but in my opinion they're a bit too heavy compared to pack liners. Occasionally I also use trash bags, but it's not really an ideal solution because realistically you can only get a few uses until they start to get holes and you have to throw them out. These ones specifically are made by EcoFume, which is something like Nylofume, except they can be recycled. Supposedly they should last a pretty long time before they develop any holes, much more than trash bags, but not as long as dry sacks. Item number 9 on this list is light load travel towels. I got 6 of them in total, 3 medium ones and 3 small ones, for a total of 24.89 euros, including shipping. When you first receive them, they come packaged ridiculously small and tiny, and you cannot even believe that that's a towel. But when you unpack them, they look something like this. This is the medium version, and this is the small version. They're made from a natural fabric instead of synthetics, which is really good at absorbing water. Supposedly these things should also last pretty long despite the first looks and the first impressions. I've heard from other thru hikers that have done the AT and the PCT and they've used this thing without changing it during the thru hike. The medium one is going to replace my large microfiber towel that I brought on my thru hike to dry myself after washing, and the smaller one is going to replace my microfiber cloth that I used to wipe down my cookware as well as the tent condensation. And the last item on this list is an ultralight wallet made by Osprey, which I bought for 18 euros including shipping on Amazon. There are quite a few other ultralight wallet options that are usually made by DCF that weigh and function pretty much the same, but unfortunately I couldn't find one that costs under $20, which is the premise of this video, so I went with this cheaper one from Osprey instead. This thing weighs just 11 grams, it's made from a water-resistant fabric, and it also has a water water resistant zipper, and it also isn't too small, so all of my credit cards and cash fit in it very nicely. Of course, using a small Ziploc bag as your wallet is also totally fine, but I think this option is a bit more secure and probably a bit more long-term as well. I think for just 18 euros, this thing is a really good purchase. If you like this video and you want to see similar videos like that in the future, please comment that down below, because I don't usually make videos like these where I cover smaller pieces of gear. Anyway, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in one of my next videos. Bye!